My name is Kike, your host today on the podcast White Reflections by Hadufe. White Reflections by Hadufe is a podcast that delves into modern day life dynamics. What we try to do on the show is we try to talk about social issues, trending topics, and then we try to bring in experts to educate us. And then sometimes we bring in people with real life experiences to perhaps, share their experiences with us one way or the other. Somebody going through something similar can, benefit from it. Today we shall be talking about something really trendy. Although doctor would like to say that I shouldn't use the word japa. And then you would get the reason why is always emphasizing on not using the word japa. Today we shall be talking about students' pathway to getting high-paying jobs in the UK and living a good life. Joining me on the show today is Dr. Tunde Olawore. Dr. Tunde Olawore is a PhD doctor. He has many feathers to his cap. I'm sure he's going to tell us all of that. But of course, he's the MD CEO of Comfort EduServe. Yes, your number one agency. Is going to enlighten us more about how you can relocate and move as an individual or your family to the UK. Thank you, Dr. Tunde Olawore, for coming on the show.
You're welcome. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
As she said, my name is Babatunde Olawore. I live in the UK with my family. I left Nigeria in 2012 with the encouragement of some of our fathers to add value to myself in the UK. Then I was having master's degree in UI at the University of Ibadan, in managerial psychology. I went back to the UK, obtained MA in public policies and management, and I further with my PhD in international human resources, human rights based approach and the development aid in Africa. While I was doing my PhD, I thought I have to brush up my background in that international political economy or aid architecture. I had to start a BSc degree, the LSE, London School of Economics and Political Science, University of London. I got lecturing appointment at the University of Portsmouth, and I was there for a while. I resigned about 3 years ago to start an agency called Comfort EduServe Limited. What I do is that I want to share my experience with people that are interested in adding value to themselves. Why I do not like the word Jakpa. People thought when you want to Japan is that you can just recruit from Nigeria and go to anywhere beyond Nigeria and start to live life, probably working odd jobs, making money, and then trying to see what you can do back home. But my own idea of studying abroad is for you to go there, have an experience of how they study in other climes, and what are the global board best practices in all your area of expertise, and be able to get skills, knowledge, and experience. They call it capability. Your capability to be able to add value to a prospective employer. Therefore, I believe going to study abroad, or especially in the UK, is for you to go there to study a course you are interested in, that will add value to what you've studied before, and also gain experience, skill, and competence you need to thrive anywhere in the world. It's not Jakpa. It's about you adding value to yourself.
Thank you, doctor. I love the fact that you use the word adding value to yourself. And I remember, when I visited you a few months back, you said to me, and I held on to that whether home or abroad, the most important thing and the aim at the end of the day is adding value to yourself. And that when your students come in, you do not encourage them to only go abroad to study, but you also mentor them and then you follow up with them. And I do know for a fact that you have been able to move many individuals as well as family you've been able to help them relocate to the UK and then settle down. Dr. Tunde, I'm a student, and I'm just trying to paint a scenario to you. Yeah. I'm a student and I have just walked into your company. I know that you help families to relocate abroad, and I'm looking to relocating as well. What advice would you give to me, first and foremost?
Thank you very much. What I want to first know from a prospective student is to know what has been his or her background before my meeting with her or him. I want to know what you've studied before, previously, why you studied the course, and what interests you, what area interests you want to develop yourself for the future. Once I know that, I'll be able to advise you based on your your intention or your purpose of study or the course you want to study, I'll be able to offer advice in, oh, could you please look at this, look at that. I can do that because I've lived there for about 10 years. I went through study route. And by then, my intention for leaving Nigeria was, okay, I want to go there, build more on my expertise, and I want to live there, not living there as ordinary person. We have many British that are born British, white Caucasians, that they are still there, they are living from paycheck to paycheck. Therefore, they work 10 hours per or 12 hours per day, get £10 per hour, and they carry on until they go to care home. I don't want that. I want people to think of, okay, what can you do when you get there as a course? Because why I do emphasize that is that in the UK, the way we study is a bit different from the way we study in Nigeria. In Nigeria, we call it straight lectures, whereby a lecturer will stand in front of you, tell you about theories of 1949, 1929, 1927, and then you have to cram or memorize and write down the same question, the same note that the lecturer gave you in response to the questions in the exam. At the end of the day, students will finish their bachelor degree or master's degree in Nigeria and they won't be able to function well or fit into any employer's purpose. What I do is, okay, you want to go to the UK, what we focus more on in the UK is experience-based teaching and learning. Whereby, what do you want to do? You want to be a civil engineer? How can you mold the block? How can you design different type of blocks? How can you fit in different type of iron rod with blocks in a way that will strengthen or that will be relevant to future building plan or sustainable development goal of international organizations like UN? Therefore, as a student, I would advise you, could you look at this? In my experience, many students are interested in studying these traditional courses. Like they want to be lawyers, they want to be medical students, they want to be nurses. They are good courses, but there are other courses that are available that students can explore. And they will be able to add value to themselves and get high-paying job in the UK, Canada, or any Western countries. Therefore, they do come to me, oh, I study English language, I want to study nursing. I will tell them, why do you want to study nursing after studying English language? How do you think that fits into the course you want to study? Because the UKVI, United Kingdom Visa and Immigration, wants you to demonstrate that you know what you want to do. And you have to demonstrate that what is the linkage between what you've studied before and what you want to study now. And how can that help you career-wise in the future? Therefore, I do advise them, why can't you look at journalism? Why can't you look at linguistics? Look for courses that will complement what they've studied before. For example, at master's level, you need to extend the purpose of master's is for you to extend your expertise from the background you've studied in bachelor degree. Therefore, I do counsel them, different courses I will offer to them, send them links that they can read. I'll share my experience how I've studied and thrived as a student in the UK, and then we now decide on which course to study. Once we have that, we would encourage them to give us their documents. We get their documents, and then we submit the application for them, and we follow until we get the admission offer. We get all the necessary documents for them to apply for their visa. And when they get to the UK, that is why we have competitive advantage to, there are many other organizations that are in Nigeria. I live in the UK. I've passed through education at all levels, BSc, MSc, PhD. I've been a lecturer. I know how learning there and teaching, how it looks like. I'll be able to advise my students, okay, it's good for you to work and get more money while you are studying, because all of us work to pay part of our tuition fee and also to feed ourselves. And we have a lot of family, Nigerians, all of us, sometimes majority of people go there with little they have, and they have backgrounds, the family at home that they need to help. But I do tell them that you need to focus more on your studies and balance your life of work with it. Because
work-life balance, that is very key.
Work-life balance. Because it's not about you making money now. Whatever you are doing as a student, whether care, whether anything you are doing, is a means to an end. Your end is you want to add value to yourself. And all the modules, we call it modules, they call it courses in Nigeria. All the modules in every courses you want to study, they are designed to give you or to sharpen your skill in some areas. Therefore, while you are studying and you are working, you need to focus more on developing those skills. Because when you want to get employment in any Western country, they won't ask you, what is your degree? Or what is your name? So
it's all about experience.
It's all about experience, skill and knowledge.
In the UK now.
Well, in the UK. In Canada, anywhere. If you study in the UK, you can work anywhere all over the world. What the employer will be looking for is that, can you do this? Not that we'll spend more money to train you again. You already have the skill. You already have what they have. You already have what to fit into an employer's objectives or strategic goals. Therefore, it's a bit different. We do advise them and support them, focus on your studies while you balance
so,
it with
doctor,
work life.
sorry to cut you short. What you're saying is that whatever it is you bring in from here doesn't really matter. It's not as relevant as what you'll be getting over there.
Yeah.
So, for example, if I have a first degree here, I would have to look for courses because I do know a number of people who have been stranded in the UK.
Yeah.
Yes, and I know this much because I have friends who have moved, in the last few years, and some of the complaints that I've been getting from them is the fact that they weren't well informed about the courses that they put in for. So I would like to ask, what are the most sought after courses that could help get you a well-paying job in the UK?
Your first question is,
yes,
what is the relevance of what you study here
yes, that's
to
the
what you
first
are going to
question.
study there?
Yes.
You need background in every area. Your first degree, whether in the UK, in Canada, anywhere, will give you a background in your area of profession.
Wow.
The limitation we have here is that we don't have the environment, learning environment that will harness or that will kind of accentuate the skill that you need while you are studying that bachelor degree. Then when you want to do master's degree, that's why they call it masters, that you are becoming a boss, an authority in an area. It's like, okay, I've studied biochemistry as a bachelor student here in Nigeria. What can I do there? Can I study analytical science? It's chemistry. Analytical science, okay, biochemistry. We had a bit of more value. You are kind of narrowing your focus in an area and sharpening your skill, knowledge, and experience in that area. That is why it is relevant to see. I do advise students. You can say, I study bachelor degree in business and management. I want to go and study cybersecurity. I've had a lot of students that have asked me, I want to go and study autonomous system, robotics. Now, you might not be able to cope when you get there. Secondly is that it might not have any relevance with what you've studied before. If I usually look at what are the links between what you study and what you want to study. That is why your background also is very important. Now, you mentioned some students being stranded in the UK. I do tell my students, I just recently, before I left Portsmouth, that we had a party. We're going to say a party for all our students that are in Portsmouth, about 200 students. Because I've learned that most of them, when they got to the UK and they got into their study, they shift focus because they start to make 1,000, 2,000 pounds per month. I say, oh, I don't want to come and study, I want to come and make money. It's good to make money.
So they stopped going to school?
Yeah, they didn't stop going to school.
Okay.
It's either they just say, okay, we have an assignment to submit in the next 3 months. They won't start to do anything or to learn. 2 weeks to the submission deadline, they start to scramble something just to pass. You can pass, but after passing through all those stresses of studying and passing, then you assess yourself. And as an employer, you call me, but today, what can you do for us? I said, I don't know anything. I just have my certificate, as we do here in Nigeria. Therefore, the problem is that people do not take time to balance their goals with the means of getting the goals. Therefore, I do advise them, if you want to thrive in the developed countries, you need to know what you're doing. You need to focus on your course and develop the skill that are embedded in those courses. So that at the end of the day, you finish your course, you get into job. Therefore, there they won't ask you, employer will not ask you, you have a bachelor degree, or where are you coming from? What's your father's name? They will ask you.
I mean, that's irrelevant.
Yeah. They say, you said you can make this cup, or you want to be making this cup for us. Okay, give us an example of what you can do. If you are studying, you didn't focus on those skills, you will fail the interview. Aside from that, some people also want to get to the university, to the UK to study with any course. So, just give me any course. Just give me any course. I want to jackpot.
I've seen many of that.
I do advise them.
What's the available course in September? Yeah. What's the available course?
I advise them. I don't just advise them on any course, because any course will not have value. For example, when I started my PhD in 2013, I met a guy from Zimbabwe. The first shift I had in an hospital as a student part-time work, that guy happens to be my team leader. About 10 years after, the guy is still team leader in that unit. Now I can employ 100 of those guys and pay them monthly. Because while I was working with him, I didn't lose my focus. See, this is what I want to get. This is why I left Nigeria. This is what I want to get back home. And at the end of the day, God bless the fruit of my labor. I do emphasize it. You cannot remove hard work from anything you do. If you want to study abroad, don't study just any course. Look for a course in your area that you have passion for. You ask about what are the courses that give you high-paying job. There are some courses that give you high-paying job.
Short professional courses?
Yeah, not really. You can do masters in some area that you get job. And I want to tell you, getting job, as I emphasize, does not depend on the course you study most of the time. It depends on the skill you are able to build. You can study business administration and you'll be a secretary of an international, really known organization. Because they will ask you time management, communication skill. They will have interaction between different cultures. They will have different questions that you need to do in that kind of job. Therefore, it's not about the course most of the time. It's about you as an individual. For example, somebody studying business communication for international development. You studied English BA before. But you want to work anywhere and represent an organization like Google, like Microsoft. Communication, yeah. That you want to communicate their ideas, their objectives to customers or to their stakeholders. Therefore, high-paying job does not depend on cost per se. Now, let me tell you, we have some courses that you can easily get job, like IT. If you have a background in IT, I do advise if you have engineering background or science-based background, I mean, you have a kind of mathematical skills. You can put 1 + 3 together. While you are in secondary school, universities, you might be able to thrive well in all those areas, like artificial intelligence. I had a student from Nigeria that got first class in business admin. That's business administration, first class. And then he said he wanted to study artificial intelligence and data science, or data science and business analytics. Okay, it's fine. You're a brilliant student, but have you thought through it? Have you gone to the university's website? I can send you the link. Have you read all the modules what are required of you to obtain the skill you want in that course? Because at master's level, they won't say, oh, you are just a starter. They will start from master's classes for you, maybe module 701, 703. They won't start from module 101. Therefore, you must be able to know what you do. At the end of the day, the brother from the US introduced the guys to me, said, okay, you can do well. I said, I want to encourage you to do well, you can do well, because I've seen people that have done that before. Okay. I've seen students that studied linguistics, and they're now working as IT experts. And they're making £400 per day.
£400 per day.
Yes, I know a lady from, her dad is a professor in UI, studied linguistics, got to the UK, and then trained herself some social courses.
So how come we get to hear a lot of sub stories? Why are people, because, when this that you just said, I mean, it's really surprising to me. £400.
Yeah. Nigerians are getting that money.
That's a beautiful one.
Yeah.
But then how dare you get to hear a lot of sub stories? Oh, she's a care worker. Can you do it? Can you do that? Can you? I mean, that's.
Yeah, that's why I said it depends on you. It's you.
It's you.
Even in Nigeria, if you want to thrive, it's you.
It is you.
It's you. The problem people have there is the mentality we have from home. That even if I don't know anything, if I have a father that has a name, I can get a job. Or I can get a link somewhere.
Over there, you don't need...
You don't need all that. You need the skills.
You need the skills.
I've seen my students that they go there, they just give their coursework for somebody else to write for them. Say, no, I want to first work and make money. And say, okay, Kike, can you help me write my coursework? It's illegal. It's examining my practices. But they do it a lot. They are bringing the trend down there.
So that work they are focusing on at that point, what does it do? They don't get to rise up.
No. Most of the job you can rise up. Maybe care, cleaning, factory workers.
But the money at that point looks fascinating, right?
Somebody getting £10 per hour.
And
you work 12 hours a day, and you have 4 days a week. You are sure of getting £2,000. If you change £2,000 from pound to naira, that's about 1.8 million. Is
that the problem we have? Is it the fact that we change that money and then we think that it's a lot of money? Is it a problem with where we're coming from?
It's a problem of individual because we are always satisfied with the little we have. Some people, I'm sorry, I will say me, like me, I have where I want to go places. Therefore, whatever I was making, let me share my personal life. Okay. My wife, at a point after my PhD, when I was applying, having interview in the University of Liverpool, the University of Portsmouth, my wife advised me, can we just focus on this care? If you do 4 days. I do 4 days. We make about 800 pounds, and we can build the house at home. I laughed, and I told her that is not the reason why I came to the UK. That's not the reason why I stayed PhD, and why I was doing PhD. I have to start another bachelor degree. I have something different from that. There was a driver from South Africa. At a point, he was trying to influence my wife. Say, "Oh, Babatunde is lazy. Why is he not doing full-time work?" I was a bit furious, but family, But along the line, within a few months, I got a lecturing appointment. I said, "Oh, I'm not going to go there. I want to do something better." And I started a company there.
You started a company?
A company there.
Okay.
I have 2 companies there, though I've struck one of it from the company house because I think it's not my area. That's called a care agency, because Comfort Healthcare Recruitment Limited. I recruited nurses from Bulgaria, from Romania, from Nigeria to work for me, and carer also. I have contracts with hospitals, with care homes. But it's a very difficult job. They have to wake up, they have to call you. Home can call you around 4 a.m. and say, "Today, can you cover a shift tomorrow?" 8 a.m. They can call you 11. You won't sleep. And I know I don't want to die young. That is not for me. I started another real estate company.
A real estate company?
Comfort Real Estate Limited. Okay. I started Comfort EduServe Limited, whereby I was recruiting.
That is what we have here.
Recruiting students from Africa. I was able to drive the 3 companies, then 2 now. And today, I'm fine. I'm getting better at it. I'm investing in the UK in properties, investing in Nigeria in properties, also doing well with bringing students to the university. I'm best agent of University of Portsmouth in West Africa, best agent of University of Lincoln in West Africa, best agent of University of Solent in 2021. Within very short time, within 3 years, and at a point, some people say I'm the fastest growing agency in Nigeria.
Wow.
Because of the way we do it. We do it with repetition, with integrity. I do not touch student money. I charge students 100,000 for my service because I used to do it free.
You charge them 100,000?
Service charge.
Service charge.
I used to do it free. Most big organizations do it free. But I discovered that most of the time, like in Yoruba, I said, if you want to look for a medicine and you don't pay for it, you might not value it. I'll get many offers. Because it was free, people would just bring their document and get admission offer. And after getting admission offer, because they did not prepare, they thought maybe when I get admission offer, I can call my uncle, I can show it to my boss.
Okay, that is where I'm coming from, doctor. I was going to get to that actually.
Yes.
Sometimes, do you have, first and foremost, let me ask, do you have payment packages? Because that can be really, 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 challenging for most people. The will is there to go abroad and study, but when you look at the pay, the cost,
yeah,
it can be a bit difficult.
Yeah,
so do you offer payment packages for students?
I don't personally.
I know you would,
but what I do is that
the schools that you have.
No, we have payment plans. Every university has payment plan, and they have different tuition fee. Okay. But I do advise students on school they can go and they can thrive. Because sometimes somebody can tell you, "Keke, don't go to Lagos, University of Lagos, don't go to LASU, don't go to UI, don't go to Ife. We want to go to Osman Dan Fodio University, Sokoto. It's a good university. Sokoto is a lovely city, but there are lesser opportunities in Sokoto than Lagos and Ibadan. And if you want to go there and thrive as a student, because most students, especially for me when I was going, I was able to pay just £4,000 out of £8,000 in 2012. And I had to work there part-time, doing cleaning. I was doing cleaning to pay the balance of my tuition fee. Therefore, what I do advise students is that go to where you'll be able to get a job to support your study. For example, then, you need to pay 33% of the tuition fee. Then after that, when you get there, you pay the rest by installments. Now, I have universities that take 3,000 out of 16,000. After tuition fee is 16,000, they get 3,000. You pay 3,000, you get your visa. When you get that, they split the balance into installment plan for you. I have most universities that you have to pay 50%. If your tuition fee is £15,000, pay £7,500. And then you pay the balance by installment. That is why it is critical for you to go to a place where you can get a job. We have some cities whereby it's typical of any country.
Because that's the problem. That's the problem most students have been having. There are no jobs.
There are no jobs.
There are no jobs.
That's why I do encourage them.
So are there cities where you can still find,
Yeah, it's becoming challenging, to be frank, because there are a lot of people that have, as you mentioned, Japa, there, and they're focusing on jobs.
On jobs.
But what I do as an individual is that I have links with local employers impose, because I'm an employer, I go to their meetings.
Okay.
And I can recommend students, I can link students, I also give them references.
So to speak, you don't only move your students abroad, you stay with
I support them.
and you support.
I support them.
Which
I
is
give them
very
support,
good.
and that is why University of Portsmouth hold me very key to them. I support them. What I do is that once they come in, I advise them what kind of training they can do to get a job. And I take them sometimes to employers or give them employers' number. In different cities, I have different employers' number. I will send to them. Could you please call this and mention me as a referee? No, I'm not a professional referee. I'm a character referee. But I will give them reference, because in the UK, before you can get a job, you need to have a reference. Therefore, I do that for them. And I speak with employers too. Oh, my student told me he applied to you. Could you please help?
Okay.
Yeah, recently we have some people that, not even my student, they went through work route, all this healthcare work route. Many organizations in the UK now, many Nigerian or African organizations, they don't have the job, but they collect 10 million, 8 million, 5 million from Nigerians that they will give them job. They take them there and they don't have job to offer them. That means they can't comply with the rule. Therefore, they become stranded. And they be calling people, they know, oh, could you please help me? My employer says I should go and look for a job outside. And after 3 months, if you don't get a job, you have to go back to your country.
You have to go back to your country.
Therefore, for me, I help some people that just say, okay, they call me, oh, we know you are helping me. I say, I don't do work visa. I do study visa, but I can give you help. I can recommend it to some people. Some of them were able to get job. Some of them got jobs, stayed there a month and said, oh, it's too hard. Therefore, in terms of payment plan, there are flexible payment plans in the UK. It's a huge investment. But I know majority of Nigerian, or let's say below average Nigerian, can afford it. I know people that can gather 5 million, 6 million, 7 million. You're not going to spend it 7 million at a go. After getting admission of the school, will ask you, could you pay 50%? Let's say if you are paying through official bank rate, say about 3.5, about 4 million. Then after that, you get what we call certificate of acceptance for study that UKVI will give each student.
Is that the cost?
Like us. That's the cost. And then you submit your application. Average visa rate for master's students is about 800,000 naira. Because you have to pay immigration aid surcharge and pay visa application fee. If you look at that, put that together, it's about 800,000 or 750,000 naira. You add that to 4 million. You do tuberculosis test, about 60,000. Then after getting your visa, you think about ticketing, about accommodation. That's why I do advise students, if you can have a budget of 7 million, many people can afford it. I've seen people from Budia Market, from Adeshinloye, from Baggy, that have taken their children to the UK. It's just about where do you want to invest in.
Exactly.
I do advise parents. Some people say, oh no, I'm building houses. I'm investing for my children.
They might not even come back.
They might not even come back. Even if they are in Nigeria, the houses might not be relevant to their future.
To their future.
Why can't we invest
in their education?
In their education, and you reap the reward later on. I met a lady recently, about a year ago, 2021. The dad is a truck driver. Mom is a petty trader. And she came to me and I said, you can do it. My parents were poorer than yours. And I did it.
And I did it.
Then it was £3,500 deposit. She was able to reach 3,500. At a point after getting visa, she has to pay balance of 50% before she enrolled. She came to my office weeping. How can I do? I said, let me speak with your parents. What can they do? Within a short while, within a day, they were able to pay. The guy is doing well there now.
That's what I always say to people. When the will is there, you will get it.
You'll get it.
I mean, the first thing you need to start with is the will. And once the will is there, you would get it. Thank you very much, Doctor. Yeah. I also want to ask you, accommodation has been a huge problem, to be honest. And I do know that is as a result of
too many people,
relocating to UK. To the UK right now. So I'd like to ask, do you follow through with your students to the point of accommodation? Yeah,
accommodation is a bit tricky in the UK now because of the vast number of people that are going there now.
Okay.
And there are a lot of advice from the UKVI, from each universities, and from us, from agents like me. But most people that have problem with accommodation, they do not listen to advice.
Okay.
If you are a single student and you are going to study in the UK, university has accommodations for you. Once you get your admission offer, they will write you a letter, an email, with a letter that this is our facilities. Is there anyone that will fit into your plan? Though most Nigerian students cannot afford hostels because it's about 150 per week. They can get 400, 350, 330 accommodation. But for a single student, most of the time we do help them because there are no rules that affect that. I used to help family before, but it's getting trickier now. Why? A typical landlord will want to ensure, or an agent, that or our tenant can pay the rent.
Can pay the rent.
The rent. Therefore, if you get to the UK and then you want to get accommodation without a job, it's difficult to ask you, could you please produce 3 months bank statement to show that you can pay the rent.
Pay the rent.
It's part of the rule. Can you also provide references from the landlord you've stayed in their house before so that they know you have been doing well with your rents? Also, they can ask you for guarantor. Who can guarantee you? And whoever that want to guarantee you to get a house, especially for families, will have to hand 2.5% or 250% of what you want to pay, you will pay. For example, if you are paying £1,000 per month for 12 months, that means for 2.5 years, you pay about £30,000. Therefore, if I'm guaranteeing you now as a guarantor, I'm able to hand that 30,000 apart from my own bills. Therefore, getting a guarantor is tricky. What I do advise is that if you are going there as a single student, we will support you to get accommodation.
That's your agency will support.
There.
Okay.
We'll give you relevant advice, links to who you can apply to. We can speak with them, or we can check for you. We'll give you a link where you can search online. Then if you like any accommodation, we'll go and fill it for you and verify whether what you are seeing in the we're seeing online is what is on ground.
On ground.
And then if you want to pay, we can help you pay, or we can send the account number of the agent to you to pay directly. We link you. Okay. But if you are a family, I do advise family, let the main applicant go first.
Let the main applicant go
whether the
first.
husband or the wife. When I was going, I went alone first. Afterward, when I got a job, going on with my studies, I can see I can pay for rent. I now got accommodation for my family, and I brought them to the UK.
Exactly.
Most people, if you advise them, said, no, I can't leave my husband. Oh, I can't leave my children. No, I can't leave my wife.
Because it's going to be pretty difficult, moving.
If you can't leave your wife,
your family,
could you please look for 6 months rent? Because a typical agent or landlord will say, okay, once you can pay 6 months upfront, before 6 months, you'll be able to have something to do. Or that is short leasehold. At least 6 months is a good contract. Therefore, if you are able to pay 6 months upfront, they will give you accommodation. Most of them do not have that 6 months. They don't even have 2 months.
Not even a month.
And they will not listen to advice that let the main applicant go. If the main applicant go first, register into the course, see how she's getting or he's getting on with the course, get a part-time job. After some time, she has a bank statement. As the money it will be entering his account. And then if agent asks you, oh, what evidence do you have that you can pay the rent? This is my bank statement. Employer can also give you reference to your landlord. Oh, it's my employee. Your jobs will be guaranteed. They will not listen. They will say...
Okay, so if the main applicant is going first, what happens to the dependent? They have their visa ready.
You can apply for the visa together, or you can apply for visa later.
Later. Okay.
Once you can bring your family into the UK within the length of your visa. Maybe you have 2 years.
2 years.
You have 16 months. 3 months to the end of your visa, you can apply.
3 months to the end of the visa.
You can apply.
Your family can still come join you.
And also a year, 6 months. It depends on the individual, or 3 months. 3 months, meaning applicant get a good job, have a relationship with your employer, that they can give you a reference letter. Say, okay, this is my employer, I can guarantee this or a job. You can get your family in after getting their visa for them. I've seen many of my students, 6 months, 3 months, 1 year after they took their children. But some people, they said, no, I can't leave my family, I can't leave my wife, and particularly wives. Say, oh, no, I can't leave my husband, oh, no. Going abroad to us, majority of Nigerians is as if you are going to paradise. You're going to heaven. Therefore, they will say, oh, if you get there now, or just that urge of getting there. And they will tell you, when we get to the bridge, we'll cross it. Most of the time, they go to the bridge, they can't cross it. And say, sleep roughly. There was an experience I had. One family, they called me 12 midnight. One Oyibo, I said, they're looking for reputable people in the community. They called me, Babatunde, please, we have a family here at Commercial Road in the cold. 12 midnight. That they don't have a house. Give a phone to, let me speak with her. Who is your agent? How do you get here? And we got visa, we got visa. Did you have a proper accommodation arrangement? No. Do you have money for hotel? No. Maybe they listen to wrong advice. When say, no, yeah, when you get to the UK, government will give you house when you see children. Wrong advice. It's a lie. As a student, it's no recourse to public fund.
It's
They
no
write it
recourse to
public fund. Because you are coming to study and you say you can pay.
You can only work.
Yeah.
And you have, you know, number
Therefore,
of hours that you can work.
I do advise students, I'll be advising them now that have a proper accommodation arrangement. If you can fund all of you going together, let the mere applicant go first. If you have where you can put your children, you have 2-3 children, and you have family that they can stay for 2-3 months. You and the wife can come. They allow some landlords who allow couples without children to stay in a room.
To stay in a room.
In a room, so that if both of you can work, and then you can raise money, bring your family. I've done that for several people. Why they are stranded in summary, most of them do not listen to advice.
Thank you very much, Doctor. Thank you for enlightening us. Yes. I want you to talk about your seminar that is coming up on the 20th.
Yes, we call it International Student Recruitment Fair. We are bringing
International Student Recruitment Fair.
Okay. It's coming up at Gamaliel Onoshede Hall at International Conference Center, University of Ibadan, just at the second gate.
The second gate.
The second gate. We are bringing in universities representatives from the UK to come and speak with parents and students regarding their universities, what they have better than other universities, and parents and guardians and students, they can ask them questions on different courses. They can access their document also to see if they are fit for getting an offer there. That is what we are doing.
So are you saying parents can come with their students?
Parents, 16 years.
Sorry, their children.
Children, 16 years old girl, 15 years old girl that wants to finish secondary school that is thinking of studying abroad can come and listen and speak with university representatives. They will enlighten her on what she can study, how she can go about it, the admission requirement, and what sorts of help they have for accommodation for different areas of life in the school. If you are a professional, wife or husband, you can come with your children also. Come and listen to them. What can you do? You've worked 10 years, 5 years, you want to go and add value to yourself and come back to add value to Nigeria at the end of the day. You can come and listen to them. They will give you several courses they have. They will tell you about their universities, what they can do better to help you. That is what we want to do. We want to bring them here so that they can speak with people, they will see them, advise them, so that they will know what to do in terms of education. That's what we are doing. And we are doing that on the 28th of May at the International Conference Center, Gamaliel Onoshede Hall, UI Ibadan.
Thank you so much, Doctor. Thank you for coming on the show. We are still going to, would put that on the screen after this interview so that our viewers can know and get the direct description, the correct description of, the venue. Thank you so much. And Dr. Sude, I'd like you to tell our viewers where your office is located in Ibadan. Yeah,
we have our office at 6 Alafia Street. It's called Comfort House.
Comfort House.
We are Comfort House. It's Comfort House. 6 Alafia Street, Mokola, Ibadan. When you are coming from roundabout, Mokola roundabout, and you are going to Sango, you see it veterinary bus stop. The road is directly opposite veterinary gate along Sango Road. Yes. If you are coming from Sango, Bodija, you drop at the gate of veterinary bus stop and cross to the other side. You see Alafia Street. Sometimes they call it Maridoti. Because they say there is a man that used to help our Lord to barb his hair. That is where the office is. Just see the third building by the left-hand side, you see Comfort House, number 6 Alafia Street. You can come there, come and have, we'll give you office tour, and you'll see our members of my teams, so that you'll be able to discuss with them, and then you can see me face to face also for any individual personal discussions. Thank you so much, Doctor. Yes, thank you. Thanks for coming, sir. And really thanks to viewers. Yes,